So this is what the entry criteria and the exit criteria means. I will enter the testing when the application is stable. I'll exit once my test means once after completion of all the testing. And if there is any network issues or anything, so I'll stop this one. So most of the people will get confused with the entry, exit, and suspension and resumption. So entry criteria and exit criteria will talks about when I'm going to enter the testing and when I complete my testing. This is what I'll be writing in the entry criteria and exit criteria. And when means in terms of suspension and the resumption, we will be writing that suddenly means my network went down, so I will suspend my testing. I will resume my testing when all the things are up and running. So that's where we need to mention the suspension, resumption, entry, and exit criteria. Okay. Now I created the entry and exit criteria. Then I'll be putting it for a schedule. So schedule means for completion of this particular testing project, what should I do? What are the things I should do? Means what is the timeline it will be taking? So here it will come LOE. What do you mean by LOE? Is level of efforts. Estimations. Actually, that's a huge topic, guys. There are 3 standard ways to do the estimation. I'll talk that estimations later. But as of now, you should know, means as part of test plan, we need to give the level of estimates. How to give the estimates, I'll tell you later. Just note down that particular pointer. I'll talk about it. Anyways, I written the pointer here, right? I'll talk about here the estimations pointer. Okay, so here we will say that the project would be tentatively start on this date and the project will be completed by this date, and I have this many means. Okay, anyways, resources, I'll be saying that man's 3 man days are 3 man persons are there, so based upon that we given this schedule. Now we given the schedule and the test data. So I'm using this particular test data and these are my test data sources. I'll be getting the test data from the Excel, or I'm getting the test data from the DB, or I'm getting the test data from the different format. So all those things will be part of the test data. And I'll be keeping it as assumptions and uh, assumptions and constraints. So what are the assumptions? My assumption is I'll be getting means the code will be deployed into the testing environment without fail, and I'll means everything would be in the stable condition, and there would be no slippages if I have any particular bugs identified. So like this, everything will be assumptions. And constraints are nothing but if the dev means if the BA team didn't given me the proper requirements, I can't do anything. So the BA team need to be giving us a clear cut of requirements logged into the Jira or somewhere else. And whatever, if you feel, it depends upon the project to project, the constraints will vary. So all the assumptions and constraints we should explicitly inform to the people. So if there is any delay in the requirements, there will be slippage in the project timelines. So these are the things which will be mentioned in assumptions and criteria. And we will be saying that what are the tools we are using for this particular project, means like tools and technologies. We can keep the technologies also. For an example, what are the tools we are using? So we will be saying that I'll be using Jira, I'll using Selenium, and I'll be using Bugzilla. Like this, I'll be saying that these are the tools. And the technologies for this one, for this automating this one, I'll be means it was done on the React.js, and I'll be coding in the Java. So all those things will be comes over here. Now these are my test deliverables. Means once after the testing, what are the things I'm going to give it to you? So first I'll be giving the test plan, so which is this particular document. I'll be giving the test data which we prepared for this one, and I'll be giving the test results or the test reports. So this would be this one, and I'll be giving the test automation code, in means a Git repository or whatever repository. So that we will be giving it. What not? Whatever the things means, even we'll be having the test sign off document, and then we will be having the test interim reports. Interim means in middle we will be giving the reports, and we will be giving the test sign off, test interims reports, and results plan and whatnot. Whatever related means there is a bunch like 8 to 9 factors are there. So these all things I'll be giving as part of your test deliverable. So that I'll be mentioning it over here. And how I'll maintain the defect management. Now, when I was testing this one, I have few issues. So how I'll be managing this particular defects means here I'll be logging into Jira, or I'll logging into the Bugzilla. I'll be having the severity and priority. Severity should be the P1 and S1 has to be accomplished in immediately by this time. So all those particular things will be logged into the test management system. Next one, environments. So actually we should know what are the ideal environments are there. So based upon these particular environments means the QA means we'll be having testing environment, staging environment, or beta means we have QA, dev, beta, staging, and production. It depends upon different environments. Environment means what? So however, I'll talk in detail about this one. So we should know the clear cut environments, because the people always, these are the terminologies. So in which environment you have done. So I have done it in a QA environment, a pre-prod environment. So those are the most important terminologies the people will ask you. I'll talk more about the environments. We'll have different environments for doing the testing. First, I'll test it in the testing environment. Later on, same code will be deployed to the pre-prod environment. We will test that in the pre-prod environment, and then we will put it into the staging environment. We will test it in the staging environment. Then we will push it to the production. So it depends upon the company to company to have this particular strategies. So whether they wanted to test the same thing for 3 different environments and then push it, or 2 different or 1 different environment, we'll have that different things. And the next one is who are the resources working and what are the contact numbers of those people. So these are the resources who worked for this one. So and so, this is a contact number, team lead, team engineers, and these things. And last one is appendix. So here, so any particular terminologies or any acronyms, abbreviations, and all the appendix will be come over here. And the last but not the most important thing is the document sign off. Who have reviewed this one, and it has been signed off with the means all the project managers and test manager, test architect, everyone done or not. So those people will do it. If you see here, if you wanted to create a test plan, these are the information. You tell me, did we miss anything? For preparing a plan should be a plan. It should be a concrete plan. We will not miss anything in our plan. And every content should be there. So when I'll stop, when I'll start, what is the duration of the time, who are the resources working, and what are the things you can expect out of this one, and how if I have the defects, and in which environments I'm testing, and which resources are working on this one, and whether we do have any assumptions and the constraints, and what are the tools we are using on this one. Everything it should covers into the test plan. It's not a one-line word, one-line sentence. The test plan is just help to test the application. You should explain the people that these are the things it will be there in this. And even here we have the approaches also. So I missed this one important. The test approaches. Guys, I missed 2 important things here in this between. The test approaches. The test approaches is nothing but here I'll be talking about whether I'll need to go with the manual approach or the automation approach, those informations. And even I can define here the integration approaches also. So the test approach, the most important thing. And the next one is the types of testing. I don't know how I forgot this one. It's been a very long time. I really sorry for that. The most important thing is this types of testing. So in the types of testing, I'll be mentioning that whether I'm doing the functional testing or not, whether I'm doing the regression testing or not, whether I'm doing the smoke testing or not, whether I would be doing the compatibility testing or not, whether I'll be doing monkey testing or not. So here I'll be having the blocks to say yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. So who defined this, or where it will be defined, this information? Guys, so for this particular category of project, you need to do this particular type of testings, where who will be deciding this one, or where, in which document I'll be getting these informations? Guys, are you with me?
In text case document, we'll get information about this.
Any answers? Any other answers? We will be getting it from the tester strategy. Tester strategy is a mother document. I'll be writing here 100 things for UI. So now based upon this particular project, they will take this all here, means as this is a UI automation, they will take it and they will say that, yes, for this project, I'm doing functional testing. For regression testing, I'll be doing monkey testing. I'll not do it. So we will say yes, no. And the test strategy document would be across the organization. So now, if you see, if the test plan document is having this much information, now you understand what we will be having in the test strategy. So you should know the importance of a test strategy document and test plan document. Many of the people will not even know what the content would be there in test plan, what the content would be there in test strategy. Okay, this is the most important thing that we need to remember it. And this, it has been prepared on the basis of IEEE 829. You just go and refer. I spent more than few months on to do or to derive this particular thing, but it's been a very long time. So I used to do this one in 2013 and 2011. In that particular scope, we need to do the test plannings and all these things. Nowadays, the people really don't care about this, because see, if you follow this particular procedure, by seeing this document, I'll have the complete information what I'm doing it. Now I'll ask you something. You go and construct a house. You don't have a plan. I'm asking you to go and construct a house. Just you'll go and keep the bricks. Will it good? Or you'll prepare a plan and then create a house or construct a house? That would be good. I given the option for you. Always you think, and whenever you are doing testing, just remember this word. Are we wanted to do a proper concrete testing and give a full quality? Then try to follow this. If you don't, you wanted to do testing as usual, everyone is doing, I'll also do it, then you don't need to follow. And everyone thinks that is a very simplest job. So that's the reason everyone can come into the testing. Testing is not a job, it's a responsibility. It's an accountability. Complete organization was depending upon on your sign off. Think that means how much important you are and what a great responsibility we are. If we say that it is good, then it will go to the market. If we say that it is not good, it will not go to the market. We are the most powerful people in the organization, and we should show the people that this is the importance of the quality, and we should be so passionate, and then at least 99.999% of quality should be there in the documents, or the quality should be there in the products. If it is not there, then we are not ethically working for the job. Be passionate about the things what you are trying to do. If you're not passionate, definitely you'll not become a good tester at all. And one more thing, if you are not a good manual tester, you will never become a good automation engineer. People directly go to the automation engineers and do that one. Many of the people will not even understand what are the levels of testing, how I need to test, where I need to test, what I need to test. Bluntly, they will get the test case, they will convert. How to write a test case is an art. We should know that. Covering means it's really a complicated job. You believe it or not, the people will think that the testing is the most easiest job where we can get a job easily a job and then we can work on it. No. If you understand the real concepts of it, you will not talk like that. Just master them and then talk to the people. And if you understand all these topics, someone comes and talk me, what is a test plan? Can someone talk to me like that? I'll clearly mention each and every pointer here. Go refer the document and talk to me. We should have that attitude. Yes, we are egoistic. Yes, because we know that. If you don't know, you can talk to me and you can play around me. But if I know something and you can't come and then play with me, right? Especially with the developers. And always there would be a rivalry between a developer and a tester. Because we are the fault finders. It's our job. And if someone is finding some fault in this, obviously we will not like them. See, if we cooked a biryani for this weekend and then we keep all our efforts and someone is saying that the salt is more or the masala is not mixed properly or the pieces are not cooked properly. If I say something else, the people get frustrated. That's a quite normal human tendency. The people will not have a warm welcome. Okay, I need to change. The people will not have that. But it's your job to say this. That's what we are paid for. That is what our job. Never ever compromise. And we should have the guts to say, stand up and say, boss, this is wrong. This shouldn't go for life. Always the tester should be dare enough to say that. If you're not able to say that, means the manager will feel or the test lead will feel or the developer will feel, then obviously you will feel for your job. Never do that. Say that, boss, this is the problem. You shouldn't go to the live. Always you should be so stringent and say that these are the things we required and these are the things you need to do it. And the most important, only the thing which you need to fear is whether you are releasing the product with the quality or not. So that's the only factor you should fear for, not else for any other things. Project delayed, okay, delayed. Project not went into the live on time, not went into the live because the quality is not there. I will not approve it. Stand on your words. The people will come to you. If you are calm and cool, the people will, okay, leave it, leave it. Okay, I deviated from the topic. I'm sorry. So actually, I went too long. I just wanted to say what is the difference between test plan strategy and then QA, QC. I think I spent more than 50 minutes on this one. I'm sorry for that. Okay, so going for the next topic. Any questions in this one, please? Are we clear with the test plan, test strategy, QA roles, the QC means a center of excellence roles, and then what is a quality controller?
So, Krish, according to you, QA is the prevention activity.
No, see one thing, not according to me, according to the QA standards. Whatever I was telling to you, it's based upon the QA standards.
Yeah.
Never, none of the things I'm saying, it all things I adopted from the QA standards, where you go for IEEE or ISTQB. I follow these two things very stringently. Yeah, you can go ahead, Arish.
Yeah, it's QA is the prevention activity and QC is the detection activity. No. Hello.
I'm not, means it's not, I can't tell that prevention, detection or precautionary activities, but I can put it in such a way that, so these guys will govern the QA policies, processes and everything. And it's the QA people. QC people will implement that one.